Welcome to this week's episode of Sojourner, and don't forget to like and subscribe.
Welcome back to the ongoing series, How Spaces Define Masculinity, a Black and Black-Biracial Men's Initiative. My name is Carol Jean Matthews-Shifflett, and I am the CEO of the Sojourner Group. I'd like to start by thanking my sponsors, the Utah Jazz, Planned Parenthood Association of Utah, Pacific Island Knowledge to Action Resource, PCAR, the Utah Coalition Against Sexual Assault, UCASA, and Enlightened Productions. When do you all think that you became aware of this thing called masculinity in society, and how did that work for you? Is it just becoming a thing now that you're in high school, and how is that working for you in high school? Are you all back in school?
No,
No, we
starts
start.
September 8th.
Yeah, well,
You're
Zion starts
back.
earlier for his college classes, and we start later.
Okay, so let's just say you seem like you've had a lot of experience already. So how is that working for you? This masculinity or being a man, is it working against you right now? Even this summer, because people are out of school. People have been out of school since March. Are you finding that you're running into something different since COVID, since the murder of George Floyd? Or are you seeing your friends? Are you experiencing things at work? What's going on?
Mm,
And how are you navigating these spaces? I mean, I heard some of it that you did in school, but while you were in school, we didn't have a murder and we didn't have COVID. Well, we had murders, but we didn't have this one that everyone witnessed on television. So at work, is everybody working?
no, just me.
Okay, all right.
But when it comes to when I kind of became aware of it, I was aware of it in my later teens, like freshman year, like when I was 14, 15. But I haven't really thought about it much until recently, last year, my junior year, and this year, because I'm so close to becoming an adult. And so I kind of want to know what it means, what it seems like it means to be a man or whatever, and to um, be masculine. So I kind of know how to navigate that space or know certain things I should and shouldn't do. Um, but yeah, I've always kind of known. I feel like we've all always kind of known that like it was the classic like you're not really supposed to show much emotion except for anger, happiness. Like you're supposed to be the kind of macho or whatever. But yeah, I don't really feel like it's nothing else really happened except for now I see a lot more people, like especially on social media, a lot of posts about black inequality and stuff, and also uh, my dad has showed us a lot of things. One of them was where a guy said, "Oh, Karen back at it again," and his son is standing in front of him and looking at the door, and there's this woman outside yelling, "Do you live here? Do you live here? I don't know if you live here." And um, and the black man is talking about like, "Wow, I never thought it would happen to me, but here it is again. Someone who is race profiling and thinking that I'm supposed to be some kind of intruder in this neighborhood because I'm black." Um, and another really ridiculous one where a cop came and this man is picking up trash outside of his own house and his friend's inside who is recording this. The man is picking up trash outside his own house and the cop brings backup after the man refuses to put down the little garbage picking up tool, which honestly it doesn't make sense why that man was threatened by it in the first place. Um, but yeah, I think that guy called the police for somebody else that was doing something, but they came at him. And so masculinity definitely hasn't really changed much, but definitely I've become a lot more aware and conscious.
Okay. What about you, Ryan, Rayshawn? I can't understand you. You're a little bit distant. Sorry, your mic keeps messing up, huh?
Oh, sorry. So I think it was a little bit younger for me. Uh, the kids in kindergarten, calling you a sissy or something. It's
Mm,
kind of that idea of being a man. That's like kind of where you have to man up, that don't cry thing. Because the other kindergartners are actually really tough. They do a lot of things. So that's kind of where it came in for me.
kindergarten.
It was like when we first came here to Utah, it was to kind of I had to shove my way into, the social circle, and to do that you had to be, a big kid.
Okay, kindergarten. What about you, Sean?
Um,
And if you didn't experience it, that's okay. If you don't feel like you're there yet.
I don't like the experience of the masculinity at a young age. Uh, I mostly just experienced it in high school. So that's when you start to get older. It was building up when I was in middle school because I started getting more mature, obviously. And then when we went into high school, that's when it turned on, and that's what has been that that's what I've been going through now in high school, the what masculinity is, and yeah.
Okay, so I have a question real quick for you. If all three of you, if your white friends are out just fooling around, doing things in the neighborhood, and you are with them, do you feel you can do these things as well and remain safe if the cops are around? Uh,
No, no,
okay, and my next question was, do you feel a threat as a young black man? Do you feel a threat in society? So we'll just go ahead and put those two questions together. You don't feel safe.
do
You
I
re-
feel like a threat to society?
well, same thing as this one. Do you feel safe when you're with your friends if the cops are around? So threat, same thing. Just lump it all together.
No,
You don't
I
feel safe.
ever since really since Trayvon Martin's been like the whole movement started kind of.
Yeah.
um I've if I'm out with uh my friends and they do something and then I do something and then the something happens and the cops come, I'm gonna get thrown under the bus probably, or I'm just gonna get the worst punishment that they aren't getting. They're probably gonna get like community service or something. I'm gonna like actually go to jail or something. So I don't feel safe when I'm around like just when I'm out with my friends if I'm doing something. And if and threat to society thing, I don't feel like I'm a threat to society, but society obviously feels like black people are a threat to society because now we're starting to. We've already learned how the world works, how to use their own game against them, and that's what they take as a threat, and
Mm. So you
that is
don't feel like a threat.
yeah. I
Uh,
don't feel like a threat, but
and you know how to act if you're around your white friends and a cop comes, you know the consequences.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, our dad's definitely had a lot of
I know
talks
that
about.
because I know that they'll get the easy way out. They're probably gonna get a warning, and then and then they're gonna be like, "So was this your idea?" And then I'm gonna say no, and then they're gonna say, "Well, you shouldn't have been here anyway," and then they're gonna do some other stuff. I don't know.
And
Yeah, we've definitely had a lot of talks about how um, if we do get into a situation like that, that we are definitely going to be the one that's going to be scrutinized the most in there. Because when with the whole going back to not saying color is such an important, or not really important, but it's such a big thing in America because that's kind of been in history throughout. Like I remember learning in APS history, even after African Americans, like white Americans that came from England or whatever that were established here, when other immigrants came in, there was always this kind of like trial period of discrimination, like with Italians, redheads, or gingers, things like that. Like even if you were white, they'd still treat you as less than for a bit, but it would definitely pass a lot faster than like what we're going through now, which still happens. And now uh, with the whole white friend thing, we don't really go out with white people like that. Like most of the people we have that are friends that are white, um, they're usually at school. Like kids our age, they're usually at school that we hang out with them, and there are a few people that we hang out with that we'll hang out with outside of school, but not any that are usually doing something like dumb or drastic that would definitely get us in trouble.
So you're consciously saying, I'm not going to hang out with these people because you know the consequences. Is that what you're saying?
Well, that, but also just like not we're not that close as friends anyway. Like usually the people we hang out with that are white there are friends that we go over to. It's because we us as brothers know them, but also our parents have gotten together and become friends. And so it's usually that link that like, okay, they see that these kids are fine, like their parents are really good people. They know that they've taught their kids the right way to be. And so that's who we'll hang out with usually. But yeah, but I definitely know that there's people at the school that I'm not really friends with, but like I know or whatever that I definitely would not hang out with outside of school or talk to outside of school because I know they'd be doing some dumb stuff that they just find as like, oh, this is hilarious. But if they get caught, they get slapped on the wrist. But if I were to get caught doing that stuff, I would go to jail.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and let Rayshawn go ahead and respond to that question. It's a twofold question. I was going to ask, do you feel like a threat to society? And then someone asked on the phone, if you're with your white friends um, and you're out fooling around, do you feel you can do things or do you know how to act? And because you're afraid of a cop coming around and the consequences.
So for the first question, I'm not afraid of cops
Mm,
because of the cops that we've been introduced to in our community, but it's not a I'm feeling my oaths kind of afraid. It's an I know what to do. I have to learn the law, but also there's several different scenarios. One scenario is, the white friends could actually, provide a shield just because they don't want to, the cop doesn't want to seem a certain type of way. But there's also, people say I talk white, so use that to my advantage. Try and make them either, seem maybe a little bit incompetent, but also throw everything I have at them, word wise. Not gonna fight a cop.
Show your intelligence.
Yeah.
So
And then also for society, I do feel that I am a threat to society. When you think back to slavery, white people were okay with black people being here because we couldn't do anything. They had guns and we had pickaxes. But when we were freed and we were allowed to do the things that we wanted to do, they wanted us to go back because we weren't useful to them anymore. The law prevented them from doing anything to us that would, be severely drastic. Although, with the KKK and everything, that didn't stop many white people. But there's that thing that American society has always felt threatened by another race. When, Christopher Columbus and everybody else came over, they felt really threatened by the Native Americans. The Native Americans tried to make a friendship with them. They gave them gold, actually, and they killed everybody because the Native Americans didn't want to give up their land. The land is sacred to them. They've grown up on that land. They've taken care of that land, and they took it. And when this whole thing now with 2016 now, oh, Hispanics are taking our jobs. Well, no, they're not. They're taking jobs that nobody would want, and they're also filling up spaces to help our economy keep moving forward. So there's that thing, oh, white people built America, every other race is a threat, but it was built on the backs of other races, and they don't really like to come to terms with that, but they have to. So there's that.
okay, all right. Thank you for responding to that. So I know you all very active in your communities and in your schools. What does it mean to be a man to you? First, I'm going to go down the list. At home, what does it mean to be a man or masculine at home?
Mm,
Mm.
I think it comes down to kind of simply what my dad says, which is to take care of your business. And so with us, that would mean that we are on our homework and stuff and getting good grades. And also, when we were in judo, we were supposed to practice. Didn't do that one, but we did work out together sometimes. And now started to work out like by myself, but yeah, definitely mostly just kind of taking care of your business and learning discipline and um, knowing what you're supposed to do and when and your priorities.
Do you agree, twins? Do you like me calling you twins?
Yeah,
Put it on.
I agree with Zion said about what our dad tells us about just um like mind your own business. Like you have to okay, I lost my train of thought.
I'll pick
So,
up. Uh, so also what it is you have to respect the women in the house, and you got to take care of the chores.
okay.
Yeah.
They
So
say,
you respect the women in the house.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's just
yeah, being a man is having respect for women. And they say like the man is the head, but the woman is the neck, and she can turn you any which way. So it's that part. It's got to be a mutual relationship, respect on both sides.
You
okay.
guys hear that, huh? The women is the neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, at your young ages. Okay, right. So the question was, tell us what it means to be a man at home. The next one is, what about at school? What does it mean to be a man when you're with your classmates?
Um, for me, a man at school is to like mostly just in general just stand up for yourself. Don't let anybody like push you down. And while you're trying to stand up for yourself, you're also paying attention to what you're supposed to be doing, like i.e. just getting your work done, turn stuff in, asking questions in class. But yeah, overall, just for me, it's just standing up when people try to push me down.
Okay, all right. What about you, Rayshawn?
At school, uh,
Be honest.
a lot. You gotta, I guess, for me and a lot of the other kids, you gotta be, smart, but you also gotta, show off a little bit in gym. Like
Show up in
That's
gym.
definitely a
Okay.
thing.
competition. It's competition with other guys. If you're not, you know, in the gym being active, not only are you not staying fit, but the other guys kind of, are like, oh, we don't want to hang out with him because, he can't keep up with us. So there's that. But other than, being smart and learning, it's I gotta get the workout in the gym.
Okay. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and go with you, Zion.
Yeah, there's a bit of that, just like how just at school it's a lot with like sports and stuff, and when you're not in sports or whatever, there's kind of like minute type of things that I mean being a man like there's this thing just like roasting, teasing, like that kind of thing, like in a way that can show dominance, and so you usually have to be able to be quick with that, like comebacks and things like that. So no, everyone knows you're not just a pushover or something, and like you don't just get embarrassed. Um, but yeah, there's definitely like small things like the way certain people walk or whatever, or how they act. Um, some just act real tough, others walk with a lot of confidence, sometimes arrogance, that kind of thing. So definitely, we're teens just are trying to like figure out what's the best way to seem the least insecure in a way and
Hmm.
look like you know what you're doing, honestly.
Do you believe that there'll be consequences if you walk around school and not having that particular image? And what do you think those consequences would be?
Mm, certain ones, like there's always the nerdy kids or whatever, or drama kids, things like that. Like so, they're usually some of the more people would say are like goofy or weird. So there's definitely always like that kind of thing where people would feel like they're weird, so they kind of make them a bit of an outcast and different things. But you don't necessarily always have to be like that. But I definitely see it that a majority of um, guys trying to look cool usually are the ones trying to, or that have just a lot of confidence and in the way they walk and the way they do things. So, um, but yeah, I don't really feel that there's a lot of consequence, except for sometimes I guess there's also the sometimes where people will be teased more than others, and sometimes people will get bullied. But
Okay. Okay. Anybody else have any different consequences?
Yeah. So there's always going to be, that one guy or that group of guys in school that just prey on people who they feel are insecure about themselves. They like bring that to light and they make other people feel bad about themselves. And it makes them feel good because, other kids are going to be laughing along with them. So it's that like make me an alpha male thing. If you walk around insecure, other people will use it to climb the, I would like to say, high school hierarchy.
it's
Hmm.
social ladder.
Yeah.
I like that high school hierarchy and social ladder. Okay. All right. What about you, Deshaun? Have you experienced any of this yet?
Um, wait, experiencing of what again?
What your brothers are talking about, this having to have to be a certain way when you're in school, show your
Oh,
masculinity.
so sometimes when I'm around some people, I act a certain way, but then when I get into a different group of other people, I have to act a different way so that I can I don't know, like not necessarily like fit in, but like not seem like that one like the odd man out, like that one weird kid. Because I don't really like talking to a lot of people that I don't know. But if I was ever happen to me, I'll most likely act different than what I would act to the friends that uh my friends that I talk to normally.
So what about, and I've got a question for you later that's going to take us deeper. How does it feel in these environments being African American voice?
The current environment in school, well, obviously they don't really like want us to succeed and stuff. They just want to give all the resources to like the white kids and like have them go to the prestigious schools and stuff, give them all the stuff, and then we're left to like scrounge for scraps and stuff.
Hmm.
And so we have to work extra harder, take that extra step or two, and push ourselves to do better than the next guy, so that we can have this, so that we can be equal to what they have and show that anything's possible no matter what skin color you are and stuff.
So what I want you to do real quick, I want each of you to tell everyone what you're studying in school, your extracurricular activities,
Oh,
because I know you guys are very involved in several things. So we'll go ahead and start with Zion since he's a senior. What are you studying and any committees that you're on?
So right now I'm going. This is going to be my last year in the IB program. So I'm doing IB music theory, IB business management, IB language arts, and think think that's it. Um, and then I just got into the high school university program for the University of Utah. So I'm trying to get into one of those math classes and drop one of the ones I have in high school because I'm thinking of probably most likely going to the U um, and staying local for the most part, maybe for my freshman and sophomore year, maybe the 4 years, I don't know. But one thing I'm really passionate about in the school is my jazz band class, which I'm in, and it kind of sucks because last year we were supposed to go to state again, but because of coronavirus, they canceled it. So that kind of sucked. But we did have a good time at the regional competition, and also with music, I did play with the church band on Sundays at 11, so that was fun. But yeah.
What's your instrument?
Oh, I play alto saxophone, and currently I'm hoping that I can get a tenor saxophone soon. Mostly because in most songs I play with jazz, or most people who have researched for jazz, because that's one of the assignments we have in jazz band is to look up an artist and talk about what they've done in the music or whatever. Um, a lot of saxophonists have either started out with or have switched to tenor later in their career, and it seems to be the kind of, I don't know, kind of one of the most popular saxophone to play for jazz.
Okay. All right. I want you, the other two as well. We want to tell everybody what you're doing in school, what grade you're in, and any extracurricular activities.
So for me, I got elected to student government. I'm the president of the sophomore class.
Gotcha.
So I'll be helping the school start running again for the student body. I'll have to help them get comfortable. I'm 15 right now, so what I really want to do is get down all the basics in high school. I want to work with computers, but I also want to learn how to, cook and work with other things so that later on in my life I'll be better prepared. But as far as computers, I like to tinker around a bit with computers. On this computer that I'm using right now, I've changed, quite a few settings to make it run better or do different things. I was always trying to find a way to, at school, maybe YouTube was blocked and I wanted to listen to music, so I'd find a way around that. Or I tried to make it so that there were different shortcuts to things so that in class I could get there faster and easier than everybody else.
Okay. All right. And we're gonna go ahead and go to Deshaun real quick. You want to tell us what you're doing and any extracurricular activities, please?
So the classes I'm taking is the regular stuff like taking Sec Math 2 honors, Chemistry honors, Language Arts 10, AP American History, also in the same jazz band as Zion. And this year I'm going to start official class as 3D graphics. So, because I've always, since I was in 7th grade, I've gotten more into 3D animation, and I wanted to be an animator for I keep saying I want to be an animator for Google, Illumination, maybe Pixar if they fix their movies. But other than that, yeah, I want to be a 3D animator in my career.
It's good. It's good.
Stay tuned for the next episode on how spaces define masculinity, a Black and Black biracial men's initiative.